So wait, now he's grateful that he's dead? Grateful Dead! Ah!
Hey, what's up, my peoples? EmGo here, the freaking geek himself, and today we will be reviewing the Kamen Rider Ghost Change Series GC11 Grateful Damashii. So here we are, and there he is, and first and foremost, as always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging. So as usual, in the background there, you have the Ghost logo, and you have Grateful, and Grateful, and Grateful, and Grateful. On the bottom, you have the actual suit from the show. On the back of the box, you have your obligatory product shots, does this, that, the other, and you get Sad Pac-Man! And that's basically it for the packaging. So moving right along, here we have the Grateful Damashii. Well, this isn't the Grateful Damashii, this is the Ore Damashii, because the gimmick of this figure is that it can transform, it can henshin from the Ore Damashii into the Grateful Damashii. So it's pretty cool. It's, you know, it has its issues, but we'll get into that as we go along in the review. But we'll take a look at the base figure itself, and actually we'll bring in the original Ghost Change Series Ghost figure here, so we can see the differences. The faceplate, as you can see on the original figure, it is a brighter orange. On this figure, it is a darker orange, more of a blood orange. Gaim reference? Who knows? Maybe. But yeah, I do prefer the brighter shade of orange because that's a bit more accurate. On the Damashii itself, this figure does have a brighter orange, whereas on the original figure, you can see it's a darker shade of orange. The wrist cuffs right here are done in gold as opposed to silver, and also gold around the ankles as opposed to the silver on the original figure, because it has to match the Grateful Damashii. So they had to change that. But other than that, I mean, pretty much all the detail that is supposed to be there is there. You can see the Ghost Driver looks the same. You still have the transparent chest right there with the Ghost logo behind it. One notable difference is that the hood on this Damashii is molded down, which I'm sure will make a lot of people happy. The back of the helmet here is actually painted over in a nice matte black, whereas on the original figure, you know, for the sake of the gimmick, you know, it's not painted. It's just clear. It has little ghost eyes on there. So you have that painted in, which is nice. But yeah. Other than that, it's pretty much the same base figure, obviously with some modifications to it for the sake of the transformation. There you have that, and you do have these bits right here which are on a hinge. You can still rotate them around as you wish. Articulation-wise, the head can rotate. He can look up. He can't really look down. Doesn't feel like it's on a ball joint because I don't feel any wiggly-waggly movement. As usual, the arms can do a full 360. They can go in and out, and of course the sleeves can move with them somewhat, but as usual the sleeves look kind of weird from certain positions, but that's just the way it is. You do have a bicep swivel. You do have an elbow joint, but the weird thing about this figure is the way the transformation is supposed to work doesn't work on my copy of the toy anyway. I'll bring in the instructions so you can see. The instructions tell you that you're supposed to rotate the forearm at the joint underneath the elbow. And yes, there is a rotation. There is a swivel right there. You can see it move. But on my copy of the toy, I cannot get this to actually turn around the way the instructions are telling me to do. It gets stuck. I can't actually rotate it. So what I end up having to do is just rotate it at the bicep, and he ends up with elbows that only bend backwards. So he ends up without proper elbow joints. It's not a deal breaker for me because, frankly, I'm never going to display him like this. I didn't buy this figure to display it like this, so I don't care, but it's still an issue nonetheless. I can't turn that the way the instructions are telling me I'm supposed to, but whatever. You do have a wrist swivel, the usual hands. These two fingers are molded together. These two are molded together. Hands can open and close. You do have your waist swivel. Legs can go forward that much, backward that much, outward that much. You do have a swivel above the knee, 90 degrees of knee bend. You have a swivel below the knee, and the feet are on a ball joint. So pretty much just as much articulation as any other figure in this line. So now, I think that we need to address the elephant in the room. Get out of here. It's not your time. Now, what we really need to talk about here is the fact that, for the sake of the transformation gimmick, if you turn this figure around, you notice that he has most of the Grateful Damashii just hanging off of his butt. That's the way this works. It's just it's just there. It's just hanging off of his butt there, and there's nothing, well, not nothing you can do about it, but you know, there's no way for this to compress anymore. This is what you do with it, and it just hangs there. And of course, the other armor pieces, you know, they try to hide. Like, these pieces do hide behind the forearms pretty well. You have these pieces which are just sticking out of the inside of the legs. Nothing you can really do about that. These pieces on the hips, you know, they do kind of hang towards the back of the hips, so they're still noticeable, but they're not, you know, staring you right in the face. This thing is just kind of like, what the heck? What? Now, there is a way around this if you really hate it. All you have to do is just unclip it here, and it pops right off. So, if you really hate this hanging off of his butt, you can just take it off. There you go. Cleans things up a bit. Now he doesn't have half the Damashii hanging off his butt. So, there you go. Makes things a lot better. But, there you go. So now let's get down to the transformation. Let's henshin, shall we? So, we'll just remove the faceplate here. You can see the nice silver paint on there. And we'll remove the Damashii itself. And of course, this is compatible with all the other Damashis. You can take any of your other Damashis and plug it onto it. It will work. That's what it's made for. So they're all compatible. So now we just have the base body itself. We'll still make use of this a little bit later, but we're going to put this off to the side for now. And there you just have the base body. And again, you can see the transparent chest there. So you can see how that works. And, well, we have to clip this back onto his butt here. Now, that just clips onto the driver right here. Just 2 pegs. Just plug it in on either side. There you go. It just clips right on. So, to start the transformation, you want to start here at the arms. Now, again, if this worked the way it was supposed to, you would just rotate the forearm. But in my case, I have to rotate the whole bicep here. And that then exposes the gold detailing as opposed to the orange detailing. Brings that to the forefront, and then you just take this piece right here and just swing it to the outside of the forearm. Then you just swivel the wrist so it's oriented properly. And there you go. Second verse, same as the first, just rotate, swing that out, rotate the wrist. There you go. Then you take the entire waist assembly, driver and all, and you rotate it around. And that then reveals the icon driver right there. And we'll just focus on the legs first. You take these hip panels here, and you just rotate them up. Rotate that up. Then you rotate the leg at the swivel above the knee. Right there. And then you rotate it at the swivel below the knee to bring these panels to the forefront. And then you just rotate the foot so everything's oriented properly. There you go. Second verse, same as the first. Just rotate above the knee, rotate below the knee, rotate the foot, and you're good to go. And last but not least, you just bring the helmet down, and you bring this whole assembly up onto the chest, onto the head. Give it a little squeezy squeeze. It doesn't hold on super secure, but it holds on well enough. And there you go. There you have Ghost in the Grateful Damashii. And I really like this form. I really do. I think this form looks really, really cool. I really dig it. And I don't know if Final Form's going to beat this. Honestly, this is my favorite form so far. I really think this is so, so cool. And I honestly don't know if the Final Form is going to beat this. But, yeah, love it, love it, love it. So we'll get in close here on the head sculpt. Nice detailing on the head sculpt. The paintwork is pretty good on here, too. I mean, there are some colors missing. But for the most part, it looks really, really nice. Got some silver there. Gold, you got the blue, red, you got some green right there. Really nice. The gold paint is really nice on this figure. All around, very nicely done. Very cool. I love the gold and black motif, just really works very nicely. And again, there you have the icon driver. It's not totally painted. The pictures on the box show the whole driver is painted in gold, but on the actual figure, they just kind of picked out these little bits right there. But it's okay. But yeah, very nicely done. Very, very cool. And of course, he just ends up with the ghost driver on his back there. It's like a fanny pack now, pretty much. You know, that's all. It's a ghost fanny pack. That's all it is. There you go. You know, carry his stuff. That's where he carries his icons. That's all. A little fanny pack. He's trying to bring fanny packs back into style. That's all. But yeah, very, very cool. Now, of course, with this Damashii, it incorporates the powers of all 15 Damashis, and you can see all 15 symbols on here. You got Musashi, you got Newton, Edison, Nobunaga, Tutankhamen, Billy the Kid, Beethoven, you got Benkei right here, Houdini, then you have Himiko, Ryoma, Grimm, Goemon, Robin Hood, and Sunzo. Right there. So you have all 15 symbols on him. And very, very cool. And even the helmet does incorporate a little bit of all of the Damashis. Which is very cool as well. Now, articulation-wise, you know, you saw the same amount of articulation. The shoulder pads, well, you know, pretty much move out of the way. It hinders the movement a little bit. You can bring his arms out 90 degrees before it kind of stops things there. Outward movement, again, it hinders it a little bit. But you still get a good range. Now you have a bicep swivel. And you have a proper elbow joint now. And all your articulation is basically the same. You still have that waist joint underneath the driver. So nothing else is really hindered. Head articulation is completely hindered because this is locked in on either side here. You cannot rotate his head. You can have him look up a little bit. You can have him do that. But there's no rotation whatsoever. And if you unclip this, it doesn't really matter because it still just kind of gets in the way and you can't really use the head rotation. So you can't really move his head too much. But either way, still a very cool figure. He doesn't include any weapons. What you see is what you get here. And yeah, so you have that. So of course, once you transform him into Grateful Damashii, you are left with the Ore Damashii, just kind of hanging out and doing nothing. But guess what? You can still use this. So definitely what I'm going to do, or what I'm assuming a lot of people are going to do if they buy this figure and they have this figure, is you can now pop off that Ore Damashii, and you can plug on this one. Right here. Put the faceplate back on. And there you go. You can finally have a ghost figure with the hood down. Hooray! And I am so going to display him like this now. So you still can make use of everything that comes in the box. Now, me personally, like I said, I prefer the brighter orange on the faceplate. But again, of course, if you want, you can use the one that is included with the Grateful Damashii. Plug that on as well. Totally up to you what you want to do, how you want to display it. But yeah, me personally, like I said, I prefer the brighter orange because that's a bit more accurate. There you go. That's what I'm going to do. Hooray! So I dig that. So there they are for comparison. And yeah, very, very cool. I dig it. I dig it very, very much. So there you go. There you have the Grateful Damashii. Like I said, I love the look of this form. I really, really do. This looks so, so cool. I really love it. It just puts a smile on my face every time I see it on the show, too. It just looks awesome on screen. And yeah, very cool figure. I mean, the transformation gimmick, it's cool. that they tried to work that in. It's not completely successful, like I said, because you end up with the Grateful Damashii just kind of hanging off of his butt, and there's nothing you can really do about it. But still, it's cool that they tried to work that gimmick in. And, I can appreciate it, but yeah, I'm definitely going to display him like this. It doesn't matter anyway. I'm not going to display him. I didn't buy this figure to display with the Ore Damashii. I bought it to display it with the Grateful Damashii. So for me, it serves its purpose. But yeah, very neat figure. So now I picked this up from Hobby Link Japan, HLJ. Of course, there are many other sites you can go to if you are interested in stuff like this, such as CS Toys, AmiAmi, Hobby Search. Of course, there's always eBay and Amazon, but do be wary of their pricing. You can also check out BigBadToyStore.com. They do carry some Kamen Rider items, mostly figure arts at this point, but you can check them out. There'll be a link in the description down below. You can also check out my Kamen Rider Ghost playlist for any reviews you may have missed, also linked in the description down below, so check that out as well. And I think that's pretty much it. So don't forget to check out EmGo's, check out Loriplan, follow me on Twitter, all of that good stuff down in the description below. And I think that's pretty much all there is to say. So there is the Kamen Rider Ghost Change Series GC11 Grateful Damashii. And this is EmGo saying, remember, you don't stop playing because you grow old because you stop playing. Be geek, be proud. Boom in your face! Okay, Necrom, now I will defeat you once and for all! Huh? You think a new form is all it takes to beat me? You're silly. You're silly with how stupid you are. Oh yeah! Now you have to deal with this! You have to deal with all of this! Yeah! You have bested me, sir. You have earned my respect. I will now be your ally. Really? Yes. Although I will still have my own ulterior motives. What was that? I said now we're best friends forever. Come on, let's go get some cake. Come on, let's go. Wait, I can't have cake. My stomach is too weak.